Velociraptor is one of the most famous and beloved dinosaurs and, sadly, one of the most misinterpreted. Wherever you look, there's the image of the big, scaly, evil-looking Velociraptor, and today I'm going to be discussing exactly how accurate or inaccurate that imagery really is. As an example for how the general public sees Velociraptors, I'll be using the raptor designs from the Jurassic Park series and basing my myth-busting off of it. Now, before we begin, I just want to clear the air here. I love the Jurassic Park raptors. Even if they aren't the most scientifically accurate of all dinosaurs, they're a really awesome, chilling creature design, and really helped to put dromaeosaurs into the public eye, and helped the general perception of dinosaurs change from slow, stupid animals to quick, intelligent killers. Jurassic Park as a whole really helped keep the idea of dinosaurs alive, and has done a lot for the paleontological community when it comes to getting people excited to learn about dinosaurs. And we shouldn't forget that. Now, even though I absolutely love Jurassic Park, their raptors are pretty incorrect, so let's go through and debunk some myths. First off, and possibly most obvious, the raptor's size is all wrong. In the movies, the velociraptors are around 6 feet tall, standing about as tall as a man. In real life, however, velociraptors were far smaller than what we would think of, at 3 feet tall and around 6 feet long, and they weighed about 15 to 30 pounds. All in all, they were no bigger than a modern turkey. The movie monster raptors were probably upsized to intensify the fear factor, but their size, while incorrect for Velociraptor, was not without real-life basis. Meet Utahraptor. Discovered in 1991, around 2 years before the film's release, this other dromaeosaurid could grow around 6 feet tall and was approximately the same size as the movie Velociraptors, if not a little bit bigger. So yes, the Jurassic Park dinosaurs had a real-life counterpart, at least in terms of size, but it wasn't Velociraptor. Other physical characteristics that the movie got wrong were the arms, which faced downward in the movie. In reality, Velociraptor physically could not do that with its arms, instead having them face inward, as if it was grasping something. To achieve the movie look, you'd have to break the animal's wrists, and the head was too square and bulky, whereas the real raptor's head was more slim and elongated. The whole body, in fact, was too stocky and thick, and the real-life Velociraptor was much more slim and lithe, made for running at high speeds through the desert home. Now, though, it's time for the juicy stuff. One of the biggest differences between the movie raptors and real velociraptors is the complete lack of feathers on the former, instead having naked, scaly reptilian skin. We now know that velociraptors, along with other dromaeosaurs, were almost completely covered with feathery plumage, as evidenced by the fossil record and their strong relationship to birds. But, to be fair to the movie, Jurassic Park was released in 1993, and the theories about dinosaur-bird relationships weren't nearly as developed as they are now. And to the film's credit, it does address this, with Alan Grant stating that these animals were very bird-like and probably had more in common with modern birds than they do with reptiles. So, while the film doesn't portray the animals as having feathers like we now know that they did, it did try hard to drive home the fact that these animals were more bird-like than anything else. But, for the sake of the video, no, velociraptors were not scaly like in pop culture, but had feathers covering their entire bodies, except perhaps their snouts, legs, and maybe tails, we don't really know. Overall, the animals were more avian than they're usually shown. All throughout the Jurassic Park franchise, we see the raptors learn to open doors, set traps, and obey human commands. But how smart were velociraptors really? Well, we do now know that dromaeosaurs were some of the smartest dinosaurs, with a larger brain-to-body ratio than many others, and were probably adept at pack hunting like wolves. However, although they were smart for dinosaurs, real-life velociraptors may not have been as smart as most modern mammals, possibly matching intelligence with something like a possum. But really, it's very hard to know how smart an extinct animal was when all we really have is their bones. We can measure their brain cavities, and that can definitely be indicative of some things, but when it comes to behavior and overall intelligence, we can't really be sure unless we see one in real life. The pack hunting, however, does indicate at least some level of heightened intelligence and strategy, and we found evidence that at least some dromaeosaurs, like Deinonychus, probably hunted in packs. We found multiple Deinonychus skeletons scattered around that of a large herbivorous Tenontosaurus, suggesting that they worked together to take the animal down. Aside from that, we found multiple dromaeosaur trackways walking together in Shandong, China, and seem to be at least 6 of the animals walking together in the same direction. But again, this only seems to suggest social behavior part of the time. We can't know for certain if the animals were hunting or not until we find more evidence. But it is a plausible theory, and if it's true, it could point to that dromaeosaurs, like Velociraptor, were at least intelligent enough to form groups in order to take down larger prey. But they weren't, as Alan Grant says in Jurassic Park 3, smarter than dolphins, whales, or primates. Well, that's about it for this week's installment of Fact vs. Fiction. If you liked this video, check out some of my other videos on this channel, and be sure to subscribe. Leave a like if you liked it, and share this video with your friends so you look smart. For now though, Paleo Luke out.